Hello,
Hi, Marley.
how are you?
Good, and yourself?
Doing okay.
Good. Okay. I'm like trying to figure out Zoom still. I've never done much of like this whole like group stuff, so
No worries. No worries.
okay, good. Hi, Natalie.
Hi. It's been so long.
Been a while, yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. Good.
Busy?
Yeah, it's very different now having a baby and working. Yeah. But like right now I came to my mom so that she can take care of the baby while I do this. Yeah. Yeah.
Teamwork.
How's everybody's week going so far?
It's so busy.
Honestly, for only week 3, I feel that.
Is it only week 3?
Right?
No.
Ironically, I was like, oh, this semester is gonna be my most chill. It's not gonna be super stressful, but it's the opposite.
You're doing an internship also, right?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. But it's the hardest part is the time difference. I work for a Singaporean country and they're 16 hours ahead. So basically when my due dates are a day earlier.
Oh.
But it's fun. I've never had phone meetings or phone calls past midnight before. So
Oh my goodness.
That's
yeah.
Is it hard with your family, like trying to keep quiet? For
Oh
them?
no. Luckily it's just they're doing their own thing and I'll just be up late at night doing my own thing. So everyone's sleeping while I'm still working.
Wow. So this is probably when you sleep right now, right?
This is when I wake up.
Oh.
nice.
Well, good morning.
It gets harder to wake out of bed. Like that's why I hate doing the really early morning sessions, like either meetings or like interviews, because I just know I can't wake up.
Right. The spirit is willing, but the body is weak.
Exactly. Hi, Aaron.
Hi. Hi.
Whoa.
Hello. All right. It's only the 4 of us. 5 of us. I see. Cool.
How's your morning, Aaron?
It's okay. I mean, I did an info session an hour ago, so
Oh, how'd it go?
it's like 7 people. Not bad. Yeah. For a morning. Yeah. I like mine was at 10 a.m. and like I literally woke up like 15 minutes before. The life. How about you all?
I woke up not too long ago.
Nice.
I
Cool.
too woke up right before my 10 a.m.
Nice. We're all college students, huh?
I had a webinar at 10 a.m. also. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, you know what? I can record this webinar. I'm gonna watch it later.
Smart.
It wasn't required that we watch. Just eventually, you know?
Hey, you technically participated, so.
I know.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're completely missing it. You know, you made an effort.
I did. I spent a lot of storage on my phone. The dedication was there.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's just us for now. In my last session, there were students coming in at like 10 minutes later, so that could happen. But since we are recording, I think we could go ahead and start. Yeah, is that okay with everyone? Okay. Okay, so thank you everyone for attending our Study Abroad and Global Engagement student panel. We are very fortunate to have the 4 of you here today. So we will give you a few minutes to share your experiences with us. And then if there's any questions for all of you, either if students join, they can write them in the chat and I'll be reading the chat and reading them out loud to you. Or microphones can go on, but we'll start off with Marley.
All right. Hello, my name is Marley. I am a 4th year and I am currently majoring in Japanese and minoring in Asian American Studies. The program that I attended was CSUF Japan at Waseda University from the 2019 to 2020 school year. And my school was located in Tokyo, Japan. So yeah, thank you for coming today. Oh yes, this is my host family. We went out to eat one night, so I just wanted to include a picture of them because they're so cute. They were like in their 70s, and you know, when the nights that they didn't feel like cooking, they would take me out to eat with them. So like I got to try like new food. So like we got to go to like this meat place that was pretty good. I know like it was like not super expensive, but it was also like kind of comfort food for them and for us. So it was really good and tasty. And this picture on the right, pardon me, is called tanmen, which is like it's like a clear broth ramen that's a little healthier and it's got a lot of vegetables and like a little bit of meat. So like if you're going for like a healthy ramen, I guess per se, it's like a really good choice. Oh, Abby, I think you're muted.
Okay, sorry. So I'll go ahead and have everyone introduce themselves and then we'll come back to questions. That works, right? Okay, cool. So next, thank you, Marley. Oh, well, here's another few pictures that you provided us.
Oh, it's okay. I don't have to go over them in depth. The left is just like a building at my school that's really famous, and the right is Mount Fuji on a clear day. So, yeah. Oh my gosh, there's so many. I didn't think she'd put all of them. These are just city photos. Nothing really to explain here, but the left is Akihabara and the right is Shibuya.
Awesome. Thank you, Marley. And now we have Aaron.
Hi, my name is Aaron. I'm currently a junior. I'm majoring in philosophy. I study abroad in the CSU IP Taiwan National Song University program for the 2019 to 2020 academic year, and it's located in Taipei, Taiwan.
Thank you.
Also, these are just some of the photos I took. That one to the left is at a beach in one of Taiwan's outlying islands. This island is actually right next to China. So the island is called, what was it? I don't quite remember right now. It's called Jinmen, and it's like right next to a Chinese city called Xiamen, but Jinmen is like controlled by Taiwan. And so there's a lot of military bases there. There's a huge history about like wars going on between Taiwan and China there. And like that was just a beach that I was there. That I went to just take a cool photo. It's like you can see China in the distance actually. To the right is just a countryside photo of a place in Taiwan. It's like on the east side of Taiwan. It's called in a place called Hualien, and they have a lot of like rice fields. I think this one is a wheat field in particular.
Nice.
And this is just a photo I took of just like Taipei. It's like a good, really nice view. To that big building to the right is Taipei 101. It's very iconic. And like Taipei is very like luscious. It's a dense metropolitan area surrounded by luscious green mountains. So it's a perfect place to like go hiking near the city.
Thank you, Erin. And we have Monique.
Hello, everyone. My name is Monique. My major is sociology with a concentration in health and social welfare. I'm also minoring in gerontology or aging studies. The program I went on is a Cal State Fullerton department-led program. It was a traveling seminar, but it also counted as a GE class, Human Services 318. And we specifically focused on working with immigrants and refugees that were migrating from North Africa to Europe. It was last winter, right before the world shut down, winter 2020. And the places we went to, there were quite a few, but the countries were Spain, Morocco, and France.
Thank you, Monique. Let me see if there's more photos of yours.
So left photo is me in front of one of Spain's ancient castles. And there was quite a few wars of people fighting for Spain territory. And this is one of the ancient buildings that are still there in Spain. And the right photo, me in front of a wall. But specifically the blue part, it's said that blue is detracting to mosquitoes. So in Morocco, certain towns are just all blue, and they might have something there. I've yet to discover it for myself, but I might paint my walls blue someday. The left picture is a picture of a world globe, and the right picture is walking through the Barcelona in the streets that are just lined with buildings, and those buildings are hundreds of years old, but people are just walking through like it's nothing. So it was a great cultural experience in Spain.
Thank you, Monique. And now we have Natalie.
Hello, so I'm Natalie. I'm double majoring in international business and business administration. And I'm a senior. I did a non-CSUF program at the Chinese Language Institute in Guilin, China, and I also went to CETIS University in Ensenada, Mexico. And on the right there, that's a picture during one of our field trips to this national park called Fullerton, and it was probably one of my favorite locations to go to because it was a lot of hiking, but also we pretty much hiked along the peaks of the mountains, just as you see there. Okay. That's me holding a huge cup of boba because I love boba. And in China, it was very affordable. And then on the top right, that's kind of what the cities or like the villages or towns look like in Guilin. We're surrounded by huge mountains, karst mountains, and they're also known for being near the Li River.
Thank you, Natalie. So now I have a few questions, and I think I'll ask the question, and any of you feel free to jump in and give your response. Okay. So students watching our session, they're looking into studying abroad, and I think one of the first concerns that we have is how do you even pick your program? So for all of you that studied abroad, how did you pick your program?
All right, I could go first. So I picked my program based off of location and also the language that I was curious to learn. So because I'm Japanese American, I didn't grow up speaking Japanese. I really wanted to, I guess, build on like the minor skills that I gained during my high school experience taking it for 4 years. So I thought study abroad was a really good way to really immerse myself and to really kind of push myself to use the language as much as possible. And also at the time I was studying human services and mental health. So I was really curious about like what the mental health situation was like in Japan, as well as like what resources people had access to and how mental health was perceived or practiced in Japan.
Thank you, Marley. Anyone else?
My story is not as thought out as Marley. It came to the beginning of fall semester. I'm like, you know what? I really want to study abroad. What programs can I do right away? And this is one of the options for the next winter. It's just a couple months away. So it really worked out to just like be one after another of events. And I'm thankful it was such a program that was so fit to what I'm interested in studying.
Thank you, Monique.
Okay, I'll go next. So I wanted to improve my Chinese since I've been learning it for so many years. I've been learning here in the States for 8 years on and off. And so it was about time for me to really like use my Chinese in a practical and daily life setting. And so I chose my program based off of the language I wanted to improve on, Mandarin. And so I had two options, China or Taiwan. And I picked Taiwan because, well, there are political reasons as well, but mainly it's a place that people don't really want to go to. And I picked Taiwan, and it's really cheap there, and it's a place that's really, really beautiful. And I think it's a place that should be appreciated more. So that's why I chose Taiwan.
So my reason for choosing China and was similar to Aaron's. I wanted to focus more on languages and honestly wanted to break from business classes. So I wanted to look for a program that was strictly just language learning, and I found this university that fit my needs. And so there were some programs in Taiwan as well, but then I felt that China was more for me because my family is from China and they do have Chinese roots. So, and then the language system has traditional characters and simplified characters. So I already learned a little bit of simplified, so that's why I went. But I really did enjoy my time there. And yes, there's a lot of misconceptions and stereotypes, which is understandable. But I think China and Taiwan are both great places to study in if people have a chance.
Thank you. So our next question is more on academics. Based on your experiences, how were your classes different from classes here?
So my class, oh, sorry. Did somebody else want to go?
No, Marley, go ahead.
Okay, apologies. So my English classes didn't really differ too much while I was abroad, other than the fact that like students didn't really ask as many questions as we do at CSUs. I think that kind of has to do with the difference in academic culture in Japan versus in the United States. So in Japan, I feel like the style of teaching, especially for like the classes that I was in, like bigger lectures, which I'm not really accustomed to here at CSUF, but basically I think it's more of like the professor lectures and then the students listen. And then if they have like questions, they might ask privately, or like students sometimes might be scared to ask like a wrong question or like a dumb question. So like they don't ask questions very frequently during the actual class time. But that would be like the only main difference for my English classes. And then for my Japanese classes, they were all instructed completely in Japanese. So that was the biggest difference, I think, for me.
Thank you.
What's nice about the department-led programs is that you have a professor from Cal State Fullerton going with you on these trips, and also your peers are Cal State Fullerton students and possibly from other universities from around the US. So it was very similar to what we have at Cal State Fullerton. A lot of participation was encouraged. It was more of a discussion, one of the discussion-based lectures. And it was even more enriching because we had other students from various majors like history or political science, philosophy, and all these different viewpoints talking about immigrants. And it was just fascinating for me as a sociology major.
So for me, the classes, I took classes of all different sizes, from like very small discussion-based philosophy seminars to like huge lecture courses, huge lecture hall courses. And so I think I got the experience of everything. So for the more lecture hall style, like around 100 plus people, it's basically listen, take notes. If you have any questions, email the professor. Yeah, and yeah, as Marley said, a lot of the students don't ask questions like right after class, like raising their hands. They like to go up to the professors privately to ask their questions. That's just how the academic culture is in Taiwan. And also from my medium-sized classes, they're more like CSU size classes, so around like 30 people. Those were more geared towards international students. That particular class I took was a Chinese language learning course, and so like there's international people, there's international students. So like so like, you know, the experience really varied there. People did ask more questions since the classmates were more familiar with each other. So I got the best of both worlds. I got everything basically.
Bless you, Abigail.
Thank you.
So my experience with learning at the Chinese Language Institute was a little different, just because it was actually one-on-one classes. So I had 3 teachers, each one dedicated to teaching a different area of the Chinese language. And so, and it was 4 hours every single day, just one-on-one. And so I think I really excelled in that kind of environment just because I was able to set my own pace and also ask a bunch of questions if I needed to, but also because it was one-on-one, I was able to develop closer relationships with my teachers, and sometimes we would go off tangents and talk about my culture, American culture, what my old part-time paint job was, and where they came from, because they were all from different provinces. And so I really liked having that intimate one-on-one sessions, which is completely different from, you know, taking classes at Cal State Fullerton.
Thank you, everyone. So our next question, I feel like a lot of times, you know, we get so excited about, oh, the location and our classes, but then all of a sudden it hits us like, wait, what is my living situation going to be like? So based on your experience, what was your housing situation like?
I can go ahead and start off. My living situation was pretty awesome, to be honest. My university was just one building, so classes on the first 2 floors, including the kitchen and the activity room, whatever. And then the rest of the floors, there were 5, 6 floors. The 5th floor is where I lived, so I would literally just walk upstairs, go to my room, come back down. So it definitely cut down on a lot of commuting time, which I loved. So I would wake up like 15 minutes before class, you know, walk down, eat breakfast, and then if I want to take a nap, I'll just go take a nap. But it was really fun because the other students lived on the other floors too. So if we finish class, we'd meet up in the active room and we'd be like, "Oh, do you want to go out yet?" And we'll just be like, "Oh, wait, I need to go upstairs," and just run upstairs because then come back down. So it was fun having our own little community at our school. But the other students, they also lived like in apartments or like with host families. So
All right. So during my time abroad, I actually stayed with the host family. That was a great segue. Um, so thank you for that. As I mentioned earlier, I lived with an older Japanese couple around their 70s, and we also had a dog, like a small dog. But depending on your preferences, you are matched with a host family that would fit your needs if you had dietary restrictions or allergies. So it was a really good match for me personally, because my host parents also didn't speak any English. So I was really forced to use Japanese every single day. So I think that's why I became more confident in my abilities in terms of speaking and understanding, comprehension, and so on. I lived about 45 minutes away by train from school. And lived like 1 minute away from my part-time job at the time because I literally had to just walk across the street and I was there. So it was awesome for that reason. I thought it was a good location. Even though I lived in Tokyo, I was kind of in a suburb, so it was really quiet. But like I think the folks in the community were really nice and they would always ask me like, oh, like how's your family doing in the States and stuff like that. And it was just a really nice place to be. So looking forward to going back.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, so my particular living situation, I basically dormed. I dormed with on-campus living, an on-campus living situation. The dorms are actually like a 5-minute walk from the main campus, since the dorms were in a separate campus away from the main campus. Let's see, the particular room I had was a single, so basically a bedroom and a bathroom. I lived on 11th floor, so I had basically had like a room to myself, a private room to myself, and yeah, and that dorm had like a bunch of other international students who were there who were studying abroad or studying for their bachelor's degree there. So yeah, I basically got like the college dorm living, except Asian style, in which is like apartment style living.
And for mine, the host university actually put together all of the living arrangements, like where we'd sleep each night, which was super nice. It was very hands off, and each night we got to sleep in a hotel that was pretty well accommodated, and I'm very grateful because there's so much traveling. You just need a safe place that you know you're going to. And it was part of the program fees, so that was already scheduled in the budget.
Thank you, everyone. And we'll do this one question and then one more. So when speaking to students, we know that a common stress among students is financials. So based on your experiences, how did you budget for your study abroad programs?
So when it came to budgeting, I kind of knew after my first trip to Mexico that I wanted to study abroad again. So after that first trip, I really tried to save money by not spending on things like going out or like food when I have food at home. And I was also fortunate to be receiving my dad's Veterans Affairs benefits because my dad is a veteran. So I received some funding from the VA, and so I made sure to save all that money, put it to the side for in my next program, which happened to be the Chinese program. So, but then even with all the money saved up, it was enough. But then I also made sure to keep working so that I had enough money when I came back because I didn't want to come back home with absolutely nothing. So I made sure I have enough money for emergencies and coming back home. But I wish I looked for scholarships because that would have helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Monique. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Another nice thing about the winter program is that it's considerably lower cost compared to a semester or year-long program. Granted, the spring break trips are the least amount of cost, which I support all the way. But the whole thing for my program came to $4,000, and just a matter of saving up beforehand and saving up after, just like Natalie said, is a really good technique.
Okay, so for me, let's see. First, I picked a location that was rather cheap, half the cost of living of LA. That's what you'd expect for Taiwan, Taipei specifically. So just picking a location that I thought would save me money went a long way to for me to be able to afford this experience. And second of all, let's see, I do receive financial aid, both federal and state grants, so that covered a lot of the program costs. I also had a part-time job before I studied abroad, so I was like working 40 hours a week during the summer, and I really got a lot of money from that. And of course, I'm really fortunate to have parental support. Um, and yeah, that's how I basically pay for my experience.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. So I also had parental support pretty much for my trip. And the really cool part about going on a CSUIP program or a CSUF exchange program is that you get to pay like CSUF tuition. So it wasn't too different than what we already pay right now for tuition and such. So I'm really grateful for parental support with that. And then, as I mentioned before, when I was abroad, I also had a part-time job where I worked twice a week, and I got roughly like $20 an hour. So it was really nice to have like extra money to use that towards like leisurely activities, or if I wanted to save it and then go on like a trip with my friends. Or I remember like this was like the first Christmas, I think last year, that I really got to use like my own money to pay for all of my friends' Christmas gifts and stuff. And it was like such a good feeling to be like, oh my gosh, I get to buy my friends things. Like, and then my mom would be like, oh, like I could buy this. I'm like, no, mom, like you don't have to buy it. Like I just got paid. And like, so I took my mom to dinner and I like got her a gift. So like it was just a really rewarding experience. So if I got like another opportunity to do like an internship abroad or something like that, I would definitely take it.
Thank you. And on that note, our last question is, what advice would you give to students who are interested in studying abroad? Anything?
For my experience, it was a lot more straightforward than I previously thought. I was worried I would miss a step. I was worried I'd forget a huge part and then be sent back. All these horrible circumstances in my head, but it was so easy to follow what to do next through emails, through reminders, and you get to go to a bunch of pre-departure workshops, and they have all the bases covered. And that's something I wish I knew maybe in junior year or sophomore year. It's not as scary as one would think. And then just one other piece of advice. Once you do decide which country to go to, then try to prepare your time zone, prepare your sleep schedule for the time zone you're going to. So like maybe even a couple days if you're just like forcing yourself to stay up and then sleep when your country sleeps. That helped a lot because you can just get right in there and you're not like absolutely dragging when you finally get to the country.
Thank you, Monique.
I guess a couple of advice I have. First, plan. First, for like longer study abroad programs, like the one I did, which I was abroad for one academic year, so it's pretty long. But so you're gonna have to plan in advance when you want to go study abroad, like at least a year in advance to when the actual departure date of the program. Be organized. There's a lot of things you got to get done pre-departure, so basically during the application phase, and then post application. There's just a lot of stuff you need to get done with, so be organized. And third, I'd say while you're there, if you want to meet local people, make friends with them, you really have to be proactive. The local students there, they have their own lives, they're busy, they have their own things to do, and so you have to take that into consideration and really find ways to, meet new people. People won't just come to you just because you're an American. You have to actually approach them.
Thank you, Erin.
Yeah, I totally agree with Aaron, the whole planning situation. I think if you really do want to study abroad, like it's your dream, it's your goal, then um, it's not just you can't get to your destination if you just say I have a dream or a goal to get there. You have to put in a lot of work and time and effort into it. It's not just okay, I'm done with the application, boom, done. There's a lot that goes into planning, and if I didn't start early with my applications or like start planning with my budgeting, I probably wouldn't have made it to my program. So it's all about being proactive, being passionate enough to really want it and to really want to, learn about the culture, learn about yourself, and, be in a different country where you get to meet all these different people. So it's a lot of self-motivation too, I would say.
So I totally agree with Natalie on that note, because before studying abroad, I honestly wasn't like, I've never been that determined to do anything until I studied abroad. Like, I wanted it so badly and I worked hard for it. So when I got in, it really felt like really rewarding, to get in and to be a part of that experience. I would, at this point, I'd be more or less echoing what everybody else has said, because you've all given really good advice. But I guess one last note that I would say is, if you are on the fence of studying abroad because of like the time, like being away for a year might seem kind of scary. I would just say, like, talk to your friends, talk to family about it, run the idea by them. And, if you're really excited about it, then I would just say to go for it. A CSUIP slogan that they always say is don't fear the year, because I feel like a lot of folks really get like worried about being away for so long. And there's also this notion that like a lot of folks around like our age nowadays are super into like, or like they have like FOMO, or like fear of missing out. So I had like a lot of like friends and colleagues tell me like I wouldn't be able to study abroad because I have FOMO. Like, I'm so scared to like miss out on like what my friends are doing and stuff. And you just have to remember that when you work so hard to get somewhere like that, that you're going to have your own life that you're going to be focusing on and having like the time of your life while you're abroad. So you literally have no time to worry about what's going on back home. Home will be there when you get back. But this experience is probably a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I'd say to seize it. That's all.
Awesome. Yay. That's like the perfect way to end the session. Thank you so much, everyone. We will have this recording available for everyone on our website. And yeah, I mean, I know right now travel isn't permitted on campus, but as soon as all of this clears out, it's never too early to start planning. So this will be super helpful for students, and we'll have it available for them on our website. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. Yeah, and I hope to see you all soon again.
Thank you,
Thank
Abby.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.